Peter, you and I spoke last week. You gave me a call at the end of last week, or we connected for your Monday column about the draft and what it may look like. Based on where things are right now, what do you think the NFL draft looks like for later on next month? We can't wait to turn the page to April. What do you got for me on that front?
Well, one of the things that, and again, I don't know who pays attention to what, but one of the things I thought that was lost in whatever discussion there was of the scene I set for the draft in my column, which I believe will be either at a very barren ESPN studio in Bristol, Connecticut, because obviously Gavin Newsom is not letting NFL Network open up, and Phil Murphy, the governor of New Jersey, is not going to let NFL Films open up. New York is certainly not going to be open at that time, and there's a chance that ESPN could be open, and this could be time when, and who knows, maybe you will be a part of this for NFL Network. Maybe this will just be ESPN, but ESPN might have 3 or 4 people on a barren set at ESPN, and then a bunch of people essentially on on their in-home cameras, or as you and I discussed, it could also be Rich Eisen in his home in California, hosting it and kicking it out to Kurt Warner in Arizona and everybody everywhere else. Ian Rappaport wherever he is in New York. So, but I do think that. And you raised this point because I asked about it. I said, look, there's a real chance that Roger Goodell could host this draft from his home in Bronxville, New York. And there is a real chance that could happen. But I think as far as teams go, I think what we're seeing with teams is they really are waiting to hear from the NFL if their facilities will be open, so that maybe 4 or 5 people per team could be available to use their facilities. Now, a lot of people might say, well, geez, why can't, everybody just get together for each team by Zoom or by conference call or something? Well, they can, and they might, but I was in the San Francisco 49ers draft room in 2017 for their entire draft process of the new staff. John Elway, Kyle Shanahan, Adam Peters, Parag Marathe, who obviously was a holdover there, their business and cap guy. And they must have spent over $1 million totally revamping the technology in their draft room. It's amazing how much knowledge you could get up on any player in the draft. Okay, and obviously if you do that, everybody sitting in their homes or whatever, it's going to be difficult to do that. You're not going to be able to take advantage of it. So everybody in the NFL wants to be even a very skeleton crew at their facility, but they have to prepare in another way because Roger Goodell has made it clear. If all 32 teams are not allowed to be in their facility on April 23rd, 24, and 25, then none of the 32 will be able to be allowed in their facility, and they'll all have to make alternative plans.
So is this like a dual track process for teams right now? It's like depending on and by when do you know is the call made?
You know what, Rich? I literally just talked to John Elway 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
About this, and he said in essence that we're hopeful of getting in our facility and we're making plans otherwise if we can't. So I think all 32 teams are in the exact same boat. I'm sure that Roger Goodell will make that ruling. He's going to have to do it, I would say, at the very least like a week before the draft, because teams are going to have to figure out a way to get the plans for the draft, and let's just say you might draft CD Lamb. Okay, everyone is going to have either an IT person make it possible for them to call up every bit of information they have in their organization on CD Lamb, every scouting report, everything, so that when they're in the process of discussing, hey, what are we doing here? Or in their final draft meetings, the few days before the draft, they're all going to have to find some way to get, if not on exactly the same page, close to the same page.